Hi, this is Andy from GPS Training. I look after the technical support and training videos and also run the training courses for GPS Training. In this video, I want to show you a product that I've purchased for myself from the company, just to give you a bit of insight of why I've purchased it and what I'm using it for. It's a Garmin Fenix 6X Pro Sapphire watch. I'm using the watch for some activities that I'm now getting more involved with that I didn't used to do previously, which is trail running and running. So what I wanted was a device that would sit on my wrist, that would keep my hands free, but with good battery life and a good size screen. I have used Garmin watches before. I've had a Garmin Instinct and a Fenix 5 watch, but what I wanted in this watch was something that had a bigger battery life due to the ultra events that I'm going to be taking part in that are potentially up to 60 hours, and also just due to the size of the screen, as I do wear reading glasses now. So what I liked about this unit, and one of the main reasons about going for it, was the size of the screen. So the bezel is 51mm across, but it's a 35mm screen, and it's 280 pixels by 280 pixels, so it's really nice and sharp and clear when I'm viewing the data boxes, and in sunlight it works great. The battery life was a big seller for me. It's potentially got 60 hours battery life when using GPS, and as I do use music with my watches, because you can play music from the watch with some paired Bluetooth headphones, so when I'm running on my own, I will get up to potentially up to 15 hours battery life when I'm recording GPS and using it for music, whereas my old watch was about 8 hours, so we have got a nice improvement there. But really it's the 60 hours and the big size screen. Now the watch itself, weight wise, it's 93 grams. It's only actually 7 grams heavier than the watch that I was wearing, and it's got these nice comfortable silicone straps. Now this isn't the strap that came with the watch. I've bought the orange one, but it did come with the black silicone strap, but they're just nice comfortable straps. And I know my wrist isn't the biggest of wrists, and it does look fairly big on the wrist, but I find it nice and comfortable to wear, and it's the fact I wanted the bigger screen anyway for viewing the data screens. The watch does so much for you. I probably don't use half the features, but what I tend to look at on the watch, I always break it down into 3 areas. It's a fitness watch, so it's going to give you loads of stats about the number of steps you've done, because it's got the heart rate monitor on the back, and it's actually got a pulse oxygen level monitor as well. So you get stats about heart rate, VO2, your calories, loads of information about your pace and distances when you're out running, so training information, how you're doing training wise. You know, there's just so much there about the fitness side. I'll look at some of the screens when we go through the screens just to give you an insight into that. So I look at it as the fitness side of things first. Navigationally wise, the watch does have, I'll just show you as I go down some of the widgets here, it has a compass on it and a barometric altimeter. So for navigational purposes, you've got that compass and altimeter, and also you can put in, set up the unit for the grid references of the country that you're in. So in this country, I've got mine set up for Ordnance Survey British Grid. So with the press of a button, I can get a grid reference off the unit. I can go here and I can see myself moving over a map or following courses with the watch. And what's nice, when you are following courses, you do get alerts when there's turns coming up, and it will alert you if you go off course. So navigationally wise, it's a really good tool as well. So it's the fitness side of things, the navigational side of things, and the third thing we break the watch down into really is the smart features. As a smartwatch, it does lots of things as well. So we get information if someone was to text you, ring you, and you've got it paired with your phone, that information will appear on the screen. I don't think I've got any message. Yes, I have got a message on mine at the moment. So you can go into notifications and read messages. If you're using an Android phone, you can actually do shortcut replies back. Unfortunately, due to some licensing, I think, with iPhone and the way they do the coding, you can still use it absolutely fine with an iPhone and see all your messages. If there's a phone call coming through, you just can't do the instant replies, but with the Android you can. So we've got the smart feature that way. I mentioned about listening to music, so I've actually got it paired with my Amazon Prime account, and I've downloaded music onto the watch, so it doesn't need to be paired with my phone to then listen to the music. And I've actually got some Bluetooth headphones connected to the device, so I can use it for listening to music. And the other thing I would class as a smart feature is the Garmin Pay function. So I've got this thing set up called Garmin Pay, where I'm using an app called the Curve account, and I've linked that to one of my bank accounts. So when I'm out and about, I can select the wallet, put my PIN number in, and simply hold my watch up to a card reader in a shop. I think the maximum at the minute is £25, which I'm happy with. It basically means I can use it to pay for a cup of coffee when I'm out and about running, or something to eat without worrying about carrying my wallet. So it has some nice smart features as well. So I'm just going to delve into some of the widgets first that we got on the watch. It's what they call the widgets. You can add ones to it, and you can remove widgets from the watch. And the things that just give you information, which we're going to run through now. So I'm going to start with the first one. It's weather. So if I've got the unit paired with my phone, I can get weather data come through from the phone, and then I can view it on the watch once I've got that synced with the phone. So you can look into more information about weather. So weather information. We've also got, if I just move further down, sunrise and sunset is one of the options. I mentioned about the compass, so this is actually the compass with the altimeter, so that's one of the widgets. Fitness side of things, because it's measuring heart rate and your oxygen levels, etc. Once you start using the watch for things like running and trail running, you get information about your VO2 max levels, all sorts of other information there. It's even got a race predictor telling you once you start running with the watch, their predictions based on your training levels of how you're going to do with various events that you may be entered into. Tells me if my training level is productive or not. Gives you advice as well. It does give you little hints on training as well. Information about anaerobic and aerobic information that it's recording. Telling me what my recovery hours are from the couple of runs that I've just done the last couple of days. So it's telling me I need to recover. So again, lots of information if you are using it for training for events. I mentioned it shows you your steps. So I've got lots of information about my steps there, step count, and again heart rate gives you information about heart rate. I haven't got it on my wrist at the minute, so I'm not going to see a heart rate in there. And also the music, I mentioned about the music, and notifications from your phone. The other screen I had there, sorry, the InReach screen, I've got it paired with a Garmin InReach two-way communicator, so I can actually, if you do own something like an InReach device, I can send messages, preset messages I can initiate from my watch as long as it's paired with my Garmin InReach device, and I could actually start an SOS if I was in an emergency situation without having to get my InReach device out of my backpack. So it's just giving you an idea of some of the widgets there we've got on the watch. I'm just going to look at the activities now. So the watch comes with a load of preset activities, but the nice thing is you can create your own. So don't worry when I scroll down some of these if you don't see ones that you would like to do. I know there's all sorts of things to do with indoor running, indoor cycling, yoga. As many activities you can think of are on the watch. You can create your own as well. I've actually got them set up for what I use it for, which is trail running, hiking, biking, mountain biking, walking. The idea of this is when you set up the different activity profiles, you can then personalize the data boxes you see when you're doing that activity. So if I was on a trail run now, I can simply start the trail run recording, and then these are the data boxes that I've set up, and I get the map on the screen. And again, just whatever you set up, you can make these smaller, bigger, add loads of information into the data boxes about what you want to see. If you're navigating routes, it can do with distance to the end of the route, time of arrival at the end of the route, stuff like that. So you can really individualize these activities. What I'll show you when you've saved an activity, yes, the data syncs with the Garmin Connect app, so you can see all the stats about what you've done, but you can view that in the history of the watch as well. But just while I'm on this activity now, I'm just going to show you the navigation feature that I use on the watch. So I'm now recording a trail run, but at the same time, if I had a route that I'd sent to my watch, they call it a course when it's actually loaded on the watch. If I want to navigate now with the watch on something I've pre-sent to the watch, I go into this navigation option, and I'm just going to find a course that I've loaded. I've got one just along the river from where we work, so you'll be able to see that on the map screen just to give you an idea. So if I load a course here, there we go, Riverside one. I can actually look at it on the map and just see what the course is going to be. You can zoom in and out on the map, and you can actually pan the map around as well to look in more detail at the course. I can actually look at the elevation plot of what I'm about to do. It's not a very hilly one, this one. and I can actually go and look at the climbs. I think there's only a couple of climbs on this one. Now what's nice when you're actually navigating with the watch, these climbs will then appear on the screen of the watch. So if you had a really hilly route you were doing, you can see how many climbs there are. There could be 8, 9 climbs possibly, and as you get onto the climbs, this little box here with the elevation plot, you see yourself moving across the climb, and it tells you the distance you've got remaining and how far you've went along the climb. It actually shows ascent and descent, so that's really useful when you're out navigating. So if I was just going to start this navigation now, just to give you an idea, so we say do course, and then what you'll see, I haven't got a satellite signal at the minute, so not what you'd normally see in the bottom here is distance to turns coming up, and I'm the blue triangle here, and this is the pink line of my course. So as I start navigating, as I start moving along this pink line, the map will turn with me, and you can use it for your navigation. You still get the normal boxes that you set up for your trail run, but because I'm now navigating, like I say, I'll get these climb boxes coming up, which I can view when I'm on a climb. These will start changing colour, and you'll start seeing the distance between different climbs. What's really nice as well, there's a simple pointer screen where there's a pointer that would be, if I had a satellite signal now, telling me which direction I need to go in to get back onto my route, or which direction of travel I need to head in, and also distance remaining. So it really helps you with navigation. If you do go off course, you do get an alert on the watch that you went off course as well. It vibrates and tells you that you're off course, so really nice when you're navigating. So I'm just going to come back out of this screen now and just show you an example of what you see regarding the recordings in the history. So just show you that now. I'm just going to go into, sorry, what I need to do is stop my navigation first. So I'm just going to stop the navigation and the recording, and then I'll show you the history. So I'm just going to discard this one because it was just for training purposes, to show you how you start the recording and the sort of boxes that you see. And then once I've done that, I'll now show you a historic one that I've recorded. So if I just hold this button in here and go down to history, activities, and I did a walk on Sunday, a 14-mile walk, and it just gives you an idea of the sort of information you can see on the screen of the watch. This data is also recorded on the actual app itself called Garmin Connect. So I'll look at all the stats, gives you information about distance, time, pace, calories, heart rate, aerobic and anaerobic loads, cadence, ascent and descent. So there's lots of information there. You can even view stuff about how it affected your training. Again, a lot of these figures, if I don't understand them, I just tend to look them up on the internet and find out what they mean. I'm starting to learn more and more about them. I can look at the heart rate, what levels of heart rate I had in what time zones. You can look at the map. You can even look at the elevation plot of the activity that you did. Depending on the length of the activity will be how long it takes to load. This was about a 15-mile one nearly, so this will load and show you my elevation graph. So loads of information is recorded about what you've done. So like I say, I'm using the watch for many things really, probably not using all the functions. The main things really are using it to, for the stats on my training, how I'm doing, looking at the step data. Yes, I do use it for music and the Garmin Smart Pay, but also using it for navigating in the hills, which I find really useful. I forgot to mention, when you are navigating with a watch, it has a useful feature if you're recording your activity, where at any time you feel you need to go back to the start, something's happened, you maybe not feeling well, and you just want to follow the exact track back that you've walked out or ran out on. It does have a feature called Back to the Start, which I have used before. One thing I didn't say, of course, it is a watch as well, and it does have a standard watch face that gives you the time and date. You can customize the watch faces as well, which is the last thing I'll show you. So I can actually go into watch faces. It comes with a load of preset watch faces. You can then actually change what you see in the various data boxes on the watch faces, and using an app called the Connect IQ app, you can add new watch faces as well. So overall, in the last few months since I've owned the watch, I found it really great to use. The battery life's been excellent, and just using it for training, looking at my stats, and all the other features. It's excellent. And actually the training side of things, you can actually, if you've recorded an activity and then you run the same route maybe a couple of weeks later, you can actually race against yourself, which is something I have tried as well. I keep discovering things every day that it does that I hadn't realized it does, and I'm sure as time goes on I'll do some more videos showing you some of the other features that I've found. But I hope you found this video useful on just a general insight into the watch, why I've purchased it and what I'm using it for. And thanks for watching.